So a $33 minimum wage, I have to be honest, I'm surprised how quickly this was proposed. These people do not even know their own minimum wage game. You are not supposed to jump to such a high minimum wage so quickly. You're not supposed to take such a large leap. You're not supposed to illustrate how unsustainable your economic policies are in such an extreme way. I would hope that even the most economically uninformed among us could see the problems that would stem from this. You know, it's a tactic often used by people who do not support the minimum wage to sort of mockingly ask, why stop at $15 an hour? Why not 20? Why not 30? Why not 50? Why not 100? The reason they do this is because it shows that even those who support a minimum wage recognize that there are some underlying negative consequences that come about from an increasing minimum wage. Even those who are steadfast proponents of the minimum wage realize that going up to $25 an hour is ridiculous, which is why they generally scoff at the people who sarcastically suggest going up to $30 an hour. Well, here we have Ginia Bellafante. I hope I'm pronouncing her first name correctly. I doubt that I am. Well, she took the bait. She is actually saying that New York City needs a $33 minimum wage, eventually at least. Now, I think that plenty of people who support a minimum wage would even say that that's too much and too fast, and I think that's good that there is at least a little sense in that statement. But why not just do a $25 an hour minimum wage then? Let's just rip this Band-Aid off. I don't like being the type of person to say, just let the economic utopians put their plans into effect, and when it crashes and burns, they will have learned the hard way. It's unfortunate it was the hard way, but at least they learned, and we can be done with this now. But they make it hard for me to not be that person. You implement not a $33 an hour minimum wage, just go for a $25 an hour minimum wage and watch the job opportunities just evaporate. They will be gone. Then those people who you wanted to help to be self-sufficient will be anything but. They will have almost no businesses willing to hire them. This is a little bit anecdotal, but when I was 16 years old, I worked for an office furniture company. I made $10 an hour. My boss, who was a very intelligent and experienced guy, he actually made $30 an hour. He had been working there for a long time. I understood why he made $30 an hour and I only made $10. He was held responsible for everything that went wrong. He actually got into trouble once because I was an idiot and tried to carry a filing cabinet that was way too large for me to carry by myself, and he got yelled at, not me, because the owner understood that my boss was the highly paid adult. He should have realized I was a young teenager with too much testosterone, too much to prove, and not enough muscle mass to prove it. He also made $30 an hour because he was highly capable of troubleshooting unexpected problems as they came up. I was a deer in the headlights if anything went wrong. He had vastly superior organizational skills than I did at the time, which was a highly needed skill when you're dealing with 300 desks, 300 shelving units, 300 filing cabinets, etc. He had a far better skill set and far more experience when dealing with clients than I did. These are all reasons why he made $30 an hour and I made $10 an hour. Would this Miss Belafonte have come to one of our job sites and told me, a 16-year-old kid with almost no skills, that I deserved to be paid as much as my boss? If my only interest was self-interest, I might have agreed with her, except for the fact that I wouldn't have a job if the owner was forced to pay me that amount. And this brings me to another point. Let's forget about the idea of personal responsibility for a moment. Miss Belafonte here is arguing that a single parent with 2 kids needs $33 an hour to live comfortably. Let's forget about the fact that maybe if you're not making more than $15 an hour, you probably shouldn't be starting a family. You might want to wait until you can pay for yourself, let alone paying for a couple of kids. Let's forget about that for a moment. Okay, so we want to help them. So let's implement a $33 minimum wage because that's what we have determined as the best wage to help them live comfortably with those kids. Okay, great. No one's going to hire them then. Big corporations will only keep on a small amount of people on their payroll as their payroll costs have skyrocketed now, and they're going to invest in more capital and automation to make up for the lack of inexperienced workers they're even able to hire. Now, what about small businesses? Kiss them goodbye. They're done. This would be the final nail in the coffin for them. There is no way they'd be able to afford to hire anyone. And you not only did not help the single parents, you have actually actively screwed them over. The only places who might be able to get away with maybe a $15 minimum wage are places with a high percentage of already high-paying jobs. Seattle, for example, they might be better suited to weather that storm for now, but they had better hope that that never changes. And if economic history is any indication, it likely will. So they will eventually get royally screwed by what they've done to themselves. But New York City right now, forget about it. You start a movement demanding a $33 minimum wage, and if you get that passed, you're done. All the noble intentions in the world will not render reality as a non-issue. I wish it were different, because I like the idea of utopia, but it simply is not how reality works. But that's got to be it for now. Please like and subscribe, at the minimum at least. At the minimum, get it? Alright, that was terrible. Sorry, bye.